Good morning, everyone, and welcome to my March edition of the year-long Flower Cal from Judy's Creations in Crochet. And so, this being the March edition, today is March the 1st, 2023. And I am very excited to be here. I look forward to this first day of the month every month because I'm so excited to show you what everybody else has made. And I am really excited at the number of people that are participating. And I'm also eager to show you the next month. So we're going to get started right away. But just before I get into it, very quickly, because people always want to know, this is a virus poncho. Probably I got this on Fiber Spiders tutorials, and it is made with a sparkle yarn that I would have received from Knit Crate quite a while back. And it looked nice and cheery, and so I felt like wearing it. And it's always cool down in this room, so nice to have an extra layer. Okay, so let's get into what I call our slideshow for the month. Now, two things I want to say just before we start. First of all, I'm really excited. Let's just fix this a little bit. I'm really excited to tell you that this month I had 16 people participate. That just thrills me no end. And where I know it, I will tell you where the people are from. I suspect most of them that I don't know are from somewhere in the US, but those that I know for sure, I will tell you where they're from. The other thing I want to mention before I start to show all of these beautiful items that you have made is that there will be times when it seems like the colors do not match. Now, you know, as I do, that every camera and every device shows pictures and colors differently, and it depends on the light in the room or if they're taken outside or inside. So, although in some cases it may not seem like the colors match up, they do, because many of you showed me close-ups to show me that the colors really were from the inspiration picture. And you all did such beautiful jobs of making such lovely items and doing the very best you could, because none of us have the exact colors that are in the pictures. So please don't be concerned about the color you're seeing. You may see it even different than I see it. But everybody did a great job of matching the colors. So just before we get started, I am going to put here one more time the inspiration picture of violets for the month of February. So let's get to our slideshow. I have a lot to tell you and I have to follow my notes. So I'm starting with a picture here. I'm just going to show all the pictures, picture in a picture beside me. The first one is a hat from Stephanie, and she says this is the X's and O's hat by Becky Beagle, I think it is, and it's on Ravelry. She said she used Cascade yarns. I can't read all my notes very well, so you're just going to get a little bit. Cascade Yarns Pacific in purple, and for the green she used Loops and Threads Impeccable. Next we are moving on to Barbara M, and she has sent me a photo of a shawl done in Tunisian crochet. It looks so soft and cuddly. She said it's called the Sweet Spot Shawl by Crafty Crocheteer, I think is how it would be said. And it uses Cascade Merino Dreams, Earth monochrome fingering and laying mohair lux. It's an asymmetrical shawl. Next we have Lynanne. Lynanne is in Florida, and she has a channel, and Nina's Knots Crochet, and she was making a beautiful shawl from EFA and kind of got bogged down and had to rip out and redo, and it's a very large crescent shawl, so was not able to finish it, but said she wanted to submit something. So here is Lynanne's submission, and it's the center or the beginning of Sophie's Universe. She's making the large blanket and decided to redo the small center section and put it in. She says it's in an 8-inch hoop, and she just used random cotton to do it. Looks lovely, Lynanne. I appreciate getting something. I appreciate your concern to submit something. And next we have Barbara. Now I have two Barbaras. So this one is Barbara B. And she submitted this lovely doily. She didn't give me any further information, but it certainly matches the colors very well. Then from Holly, we have the braided bauble bag. We're getting all kinds of different items this month. Braided bauble bag, try to say that real quick, is from Jen Hayes Creations. She said she used Bernat Strata with green Lion Brand cotton blend in one part and with Ice Yarns pure cotton for the purple section. Next, from Renee, we have this shawl, and I happen to know it's a Karen Hooley design. I'm sorry I didn't go look up the name of it, but I do know that Renee posted this in Instagram, and I believe in the post there, she actually mentioned the name of the pattern, and she may have also named the yarn. So you can check more on Instagram. And I notice a few of you are posting on Instagram. I'm able to see them now. I think I find most of them. Now we have Lillian, who is from Ontario and is, to my knowledge, a very new subscriber. And she has submitted this scarf, and she says the scarf is a pattern from Crystal, a bag a day, and it's pattern number 736, and she used Mirasol yarn. Then we have from Adam, who is in the UK, and by the way, I bought some yarn from Adam. I'll be showing you as soon as it arrives. Adam says this is his first crochet hat. Well done, Adam. And he said this is a pattern again from Crystal. He made a few alterations. And he says the purple yarn is Stylecraft yarn. And yes, Adam, we can get Stylecraft yarn because we can order from Wool Warehouse in the UK. And he says the green is a James C. Brett, and we can get that yarn several places. Now you're going to see a number of people from Ontario. The first one is Rosanna, who is Nona Rosanna on YouTube, and she submitted this shawl from Carrie Penny. This looks like a nice straightforward pattern. I think I may give it a try. And she says the yarn is Craft Smart yarn called Purple Flowers, and it matched the inspiration just perfect. Next, again from Ontario, is Jane. And Jane did a matching hat and scarf set. And she says both patterns come from Crystal, a bag a day, but she doesn't know which patterns they are now. Next, we're going to meet our two Debbies, who are both from Arizona, and I saw them chit-chatting back and forth, and I guess they are in towns fairly close to each other. So the first one is Debbie P, and she did a pair of hats. She said the large one, or the one for mom, is a pattern from Ross at it's a free pattern from Ross at smells like yarn. I have seen that channel a few times. I think he mostly knits, so I don't follow it. And the yarn is partly from Premier and partly from Yarn Bee. She had all the colors and everything. And the small one for baby is yarn from Premier Just Yarn. And next we have a granny square Afghan, and she says this is using Caron Anniversary Cake in grape, and she added some Premier Just Active in a couple of colors, which I forgot to put down. Next, Deb M, also from Arizona, submitted this shawl. It's hard to tell. She's folded over the corners to get it to fit in the picture, but it is a shawl using Lether Sparkle DK yarn, and the pattern is from Pamela at Granny Has Wings. Then we have a hat from Bonnie. Bonnie told me she couldn't submit anything because she didn't have any purple. And by the way, Bonnie's a personal friend. And I told Bonnie that I just bet she had some green in the house, and it was okay if she just made something in green. It was in the picture also. So she did. And she submitted this hat, which has no pattern. She has designed it herself. Good for you, Bonnie. Bonnie does that a fair bit, designs her own things. Next, we have some granny squares from Josephine. And as I mentioned last month, Josephine is going to do a year of granny squares. She's doing 3 every month, and then she's going to put them all together in an Afghan, and I hope she shows us the finished project when she's all done. So here are Josephine's 3 granny squares. I like that one that's 3-dimensional that has the flower coming right out of it. I like that one. And next we have Cindy, who is from Costa Rica. And I got all confused. Cindy is working way ahead of us, and I almost showed the wrong things. First we have a Mobius that is from Fiber Spider, and it is made with Picasso ice yarn. A lot of us are getting on to using Picasso yarn, and although it looks blue, I think in the picture, she says she tried several times, she couldn't get it to look purple, which it is. Just the nature of taking pictures, folks. Unless we're professionals, this happens. And then she has a shawl, a crocheted shawl from Gigi. I don't know who that is. I didn't ask for specifics. And she has a couple of blankets I'm going to show here. This second blanket definitely has a purple border, and again, she showed me a close-up of it. And although it doesn't quite look purple in the picture, it is purple. And finally, she has this shrug, which when I saw it, I thought, how perfect that it matched the colors. And it is Picasso yarn. And I didn't remember seeing that color in Picasso. Once again, when you go back and look at Picasso, it doesn't look exactly like her finished product. And the pattern is an EFA, Expression Fiber Arts pattern called, I'm going to butcher this, Glacadh, Glacadh. I think it's maybe Irish, so I probably pronounce it incorrectly. And that brings us to our very last one. And this is a shawl from Carrie. Carrie also comes from Ontario. And this shawl that Carrie sent me is called Splendid by Nastasia. And it is made with a red heart roll with it sparkle. So that is the amazing collection of items that all of you have done. Now, I tell you the information they give me, but I am not listing all of this down below. You can listen to the video again or email me if you want more information or comment below. But I have not listed yarns. I have not listed patterns. It would be just far too much to get through. So now we move on to the next step, which is also an exciting, I just have to pull up the page. Now we are going to draw for a winner of another cake, just like last week. Now there's the wheel with everybody's name. Get over here. And I do want to show you that I have all the names. You can't see them all because I'd have to scroll down. But all the names are on this wheel. Now, I learned my lesson last time. This wheel may stutter and stop and do its thing. I'm going to just wait till the very end when it puts up the banner announcing the winner. So I can't do 2 winners every month. So first of all, we're going to top it. And there it goes. How exciting. We'll see if it stays there. There it is. So, Lillian, you are the winner. What you have to do is contact me at my email address, which is in the description box below. If I'm able to, I'll print it across here. It's judyscreations21@gmail.com, because I will need your mailing address. So that's the month of February completed. So now we want to move on to March. I'm sure several of you said you could hardly wait to see March. But before we move on, I neglected to show you my items that I made for the month. I should have started with that. So some of you would have seen this in the video last week. Here is the shawl I made with the yarn art cake. And this is called the Post Virus. And it is a very recent pattern from Crystal at Bag O' Day. You know how I like the Granny Meets a Virus, so I thought I would try this one, the Post. See the Post? Post Meets Virus. You know, I don't care for Post that much, but I want to try something different. And here is the yarn I used, and I had this much left over. Crystal used the entire cake, but this would have needed another whole section of Posts and a whole section of Virus. And quite honestly, I thought it was large enough. So I decided that I would keep this. I would stop where I stopped, and I put a border row on it, just plain single crochets. And I have, I think, very close to 240 yards still left in this ball, which would be enough for me to make a scarf. So I might make a scarf to put in my donation box that will be going out in March. Now, I also made a second item. I did show you a couple skeins of EFA pearlescent fingering. And here is the cake. You can see it has a lot of our colors, and I have quite a bit of this cake left over. I would say I used maybe a little more than half. And here is here is Faith wearing this scarf. It's called Sea of Tranquility, and it's a pattern by C.J. Brady. And in the way she made it, it took quite a bit more, but I did not want the entire large shawl version. I just wanted a neck version like you saw there. So it's not overly big, just enough to go around the neck comfortably. And it is made, as I said, with EFA's pearlescent fingering. Now, I'm going to talk more about this next week, not tomorrow, but next week, because next week I'm going to do a review of pearlescent fingering. You know how every so often I do a review of a yarn from EFA, and this is going to be my next one. So stay tuned for next week when I talk more about the yarn and show you a number of items made in this yarn. So that is what I made for February. I got 2 items made. I'm going to try 2 every month, but I don't promise. Okay, so what's the next thing? The next thing is, let's talk about March. And for a moment, I will put the picture up full screen to give you a chance to take a screenshot. So here it is for the month of March, daffodils. And daffodils represent new beginnings and prosperity. Okay, so I'm going to put it up to the side so you can compare what yarn I have picked. Now, originally, when I started and I planned for this for the year, I went looking, you look at that picture and you know those are not Judy colors. I did not expect to find any yellow in my house, but I did have some orange, and I had remembered getting this yarn, and this is yarn from Yarnable. And I thought, well, I made sure I picked some daffodils that have more than yellow in it, and I thought, well, this will work. It's orange, and it happens to be 85-15 merino and nylon, 437, and it's called Sweet and Sour. And I thought, oh, one skein, perfect. It will make a CJ Brady pattern. Well, as time went on, I got thinking, when you look at this, does it really represent this picture? Well, it represents part of it, and if you just want to do one color, as people have done last time, you know, people just did purple or just did green. They didn't do both. So it would be okay. But I wanted something that was a little more representative of the whole picture. So I remembered that I had received, and I showed it to you quite a while ago, maybe a year ago now, or almost. I got a package of half skeins of yarn. They're all 50 grams, and they were the entire rainbow. And I'm able to use that rainbow later in the year, but I did not want all the colors. So I went and got that package out, and lo and behold, this is what I decided. These are, again, a merino nylon blend, and that rainbow package had 150-gram skein of orange and 150-gram skein of yellow. And I thought, okay, that looks like the daffodils, and I will make something that uses 2 colors. So I used the Ravelry search for 2 colors, and I found a scarf, a long infinity scarf that would use them. And I thought, well, maybe this should do it. And then I thought, you know what? I don't think I want to use that green in my rainbow either. So it also had green. And I found another pattern in the search that used 3 colors. So I think I've found a pattern I'm happy with that will have these 3 colors together. Now, this looks awfully bright to me. I would never wear anything this bright. I don't know how well it will be received, but these are the colors for the month, and it will have all of the yellow and orange and only half of the green in it, because there is some green in the leaves, and I hope this looks like it works with the picture. And I am going to do something with this, and I am going to do something with this. So that's March. Are the wheels turning? Are you thinking of something you can make for this month? I hope all of you that submitted something are back again next month. You seem to be enjoying it. And there were a few people that submitted in the last 2 months who didn't have time this month, but hopefully you'll have time in the coming month. March is a little longer month. And before I go, I have to remember when to tell you March. So the 1st of April, which is the day I do it, is a Saturday. So it'll be Saturday, April the 1st, no April Fool here, that I will be coming to you with the end of the month, beginning of the month. So being that I have to do it on a Saturday, I like a couple days notice. So I would like your submissions by Wednesday, March the 29th. Okay, can you remember that? Wednesday, March the 29th is when you have to submit your finished projects to me. I'll probably mention that a few times throughout the month to remind you so you don't forget. So now remember, I have another video again tomorrow. This is one of your bonus weeks. You get 2 of me this week. And I'm going to be finishing up on our tutorials about Ravelry. So hopefully I see you tomorrow. And until then, happy hooking.